This might feel a bit familiar to you. You've been here as a Londoner many years. This is our stop though for Buckingham Palace. Have a look on the left hand side. That's all we're going to see the palace grounds at the moment on the bus. By staying here, you are effectively agreeing to see nothing more of the palace. You're going to see it, hop off here, walk around the corner, take your photos there, and come back to the same stop. No? Good. Anyone? Last chance? Anyone coming down? Yeah. It's like an auction, someone put their hands up and go, okay, you're coming off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab no seats around the bus. So, moving vehicle now, guys and gals, holding very tightly as you grab those seats. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if you are thinking of going into Buckingham Palace, or you can, as long as you know the Queen, as long as you do some hard work, hopefully get invited to Buckingham Palace to tea with the Queen, or you can just pay about £22 and get to go through this little gateway here on the left. That's what they're setting out for here on the left hand side, for your visit to Buckingham Palace. Not right now, but in a couple of weeks' time at the end of July, into August and September, and that's the time you can go to Buckingham Palace. For now though, everything you really see is the golden statue under the palace grounds. Lots of tourists there waiting for some sort of guide into this place. Now, for those folks that have just gone on at the last stop, and sometimes if you walk in front of Buckingham Palace, they have notices saying there is a guard change at the moment. There's not today. Did they say why it's not? Practice of some sort of other event, some sort of maybe, I was going to say presidential visit, stage should be visited in 4 weeks' time. So that's the reason why there's no guard change today. I was saying that earlier on, I do know 1 or 2 things on this tour of us today. Now, one of the 2 things will keep you safe and sound here on this bus. Rule number 1, the safety tip number 1, please, while the bus is in motion, do remain seated for your own personal safety. And for mine, if you fall over, a huge amount of paperwork for me to fill out, so please, and the branches sometimes do swoop into the bus, so please respect it. Also, another bit of safety advice for you, please keep your arms inside the bus. Elbows are fine, that's fine. If you like the fonts, have your elbows on the outside. But arms and selfie sticks as well, so be inside the bus. Just past the South Korean embassy just back there. Right. Now I noticed 1 or 2 people taking photos a moment ago of their family members, and you say cheese when you take these photos. In South Korea, they would say kimchi. So sort of a different one. Yeah, feel free to move around. Way of saying cheese, but it's a sort of a sauerkraut, spicy sauerkraut dish that you have with your main course. You probably won't get much kimchi here in London, but you will get here in the pub on the left hand side, classical pub, lovely meal of fish and chips, which you can enjoy with your loved ones. And you can have some mushy peas or mushy peas by the side of your fish and chips. That's our little side dish, like kimchi. It's like mushy peas or mushy peas. It's sort of, peas just sort of mashed up, and marrow fat beans and peas sort of mashed up. It was a very popular dish in the Second World War, when some of our some of our vegetables weren't the greatest vegetables in the world. They just sort of put them in a tin and mashed them up. Basically your vitamins in the mushy peas, but you want to, in each bit part, your carbohydrates in your chips, your protein in your fish, so it's a pretty good all-round meal. Potatoes, fish, and peas, that's basically what we survived on. You could go to local pubs for your fish and chips. There are also other little local fish and chip stores which you can find. There's one around the corner here. And basically you get your fish and chips wrapped up for you and take it home. Normally it's at your hotel today. There you do that. Sneak in. So I would normally go to like a local fish and chip store, just like the one down at Halfway Hill on the left hand side. They've got a little food market going on down here as well for the local Londoners. Open fish and chips around lunchtime or in the evening. Over to the left, you've been here for quite a few years, you'll know this sign on the left hand side, Channel 4. Channel 4 for the Nightmares. One of my favourite shows is Global Box, which watch people the sort of the colourful characters all over Great Britain. Goggle box. If you don't have it in America yet, basically the premise is you sit down in front of the TV and you watch other people as they comment on the TV they watch. So it's a really interesting TV show, especially with the TV programs on the moment, different views out there as well. I'm not going to get into politics just yet. We're going to carry on. We're going to take it down through the Thames. We do have a certain amount of politics. We're going to go down to the home of our government, we call Parliament. And then home to our spiritual heart of London, Westminster Abbey. So we are going to take you to an art gallery now, just at the end of the road. We have the Tate Britain Art Gallery, worked by Carmine Turner and Constable. The Tate Britain Art Gallery, though, used to be a prison, known as Millbank Prison. Lots of individuals who maybe committed crime, or I'll rephrase that, might have been from Australia plus. Is that from Australia? Yeah, well, welcome folks from Australia. Now, we used to have a prison around the corner, and individuals who were trying to feed their hungry and homeless family, stealing a loaf of bread, were punished by being sent to Australia. Some of them had not committed any crimes, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and had terrible injustice. Maybe they started trade unions, so thank you for standing up for our rights of workers, starting trade unions. Punishment by being sent over to Australia. Some of them were branded though, and had the initials for the prisoners of Millbank. It spells out the word COM. It's a very good expression COM or Comicron. Prisoner of Millbank, prisoner of mother ignorance, I would say. Here on the right hand side, we have the River Thames, 215 miles of wonderful Coolin River. And we have a cool place for the deck chairs to use.
No problem.
I've never seen these ones, I'm going to have to hide them, I would imagine. The chap with the wrestling jacket down there. On the garden, see on the right hand side. Sometimes you have reporters on the outside, on the garden, see on the right, report about political events within Parliament. Or do TV cameras. And on the right, or maybe a few more buttons to the left. Please do get yourselves ready for Westminster Abbey coming up in a moment. If you want to go in there for a tour, it is open today on a Friday until about 3:30, so you can go in there pretty much right now until 3:30 this afternoon, and it will reopen for church services around 5 o'clock. If you just want to listen to the hymns and the carols and the services, 5 o'clock for that church service for free, and the rest of the time you have to pay for it during the rest of the week for your tours inside. It is a fantastic place to go though, very historical. It dates back to 960 as an abbey. It was consecrated as the Royal Cathedral Church of St Peter's of the West back in 1066. And it's where William the Conqueror is crowned on Christmas Day of 1066. We call it an abbey, but it's officially a great big church. The Royal Collegiate Church of St Peter's in the West. We've taken money from that church, apparently, over the years, to give to St Paul's. As we get the expression from Robin Peter to pay Paul, to come from one hand to one church to give to another. So, just to help Basil our diagram, I'm going to have a quick check around the bus. If anybody wants this location, just to raise a hand for Westminster Abbey or the Houses of Parliament. So 1, 2 people, anyone else? 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, big group popping off in a moment. When we get to the stop, remember, make sure you check your seats, bring all your bags and belongings, knob off here, and then come back to the same stop if you want to carry on your tour. If you don't want to carry on a tour on the buses, you want to get onto the boats, well, it's just a short walk to Big Ben if you want to get your first point for the boat cruise from Westminster Pier. Or you can stay with us, we'll take you all the way down to the Tower of London and get the boat cruise from there back up here. It's really your choice, depends on how you want to do things. Still come back to the buses, get the buses down to the tower and get the boat cruise back up. It's got a few options to think about before you come back to the messes, or come back to these tours later. You'll walk into the Abbey and you'll see the tombs of Sir Isaac Newton, the individual who sort of created gravity, just kept us grounded out of thin air, just said, yes, let there be gravity, and there was. Kept on stopping people floating off into the ether. I basically wrote down the laws of gravity and the laws of motion, really, how body and motion tend to stay in motion. And you'll see his tomb inside there. I think they used that in the film The Da Vinci Code. They have a moment when they go and visit the tomb of Sir Isaac Newton. It wasn't filmed in that abbey, it was filmed in another church in the north of England. So Basil, there will be people coming down in a moment. Just going to edge up to this stop. And here we are, this is our stop. Basil, our driver's pulled up here, doors are open, so if you want to hop off, now's the time to leave the bus. Coming down for this location. Westminster Abbey in front of us on the left, and houses in front of us on the right. So you'll see the main entrances of both of them. You can also go into Parliament, it doesn't cost you anything to go into Parliament. If you are going to go to Westminster Abbey, have a chat with them, and if there's a special tour you can go on with a guided member of staff, about £3 extra, it's definitely worth it. One of the vergers, one of the members of staff, they look a bit like Snape in the Harry Potter films, these big black cloaks wanted to go through the Abbey grounds. We have a couple of different statues in this area. One of the pieces marked by Henry Moore over to your left-hand side, which will be good. Will here on the left. You can see more of his artwork over in the Tate Modern Art Gallery. And a quick glimpse to the right for a lady who would have been very active about 100 years ago, Emmeline Pankhurst, helping women to get the vote here in the UK. Famous suffragette sisters. Performed the suffragette movement, of course. Deeds, not words, was the motto for the suffragettes. So you've got to get out there and campaign and you know. So they have the phrase, it's only the squeaky wheel, squeaky door that gets the oil. So you've got to make a little bit of noise and take action into your own hands. Well, they won't physically change the world. So which they did about 100 years ago. And it's coming up to the anniversary of women being able to vote here in the UK, 1918. If you're a 30 or above, you're eligible to vote. I think in 1928 it got changed to everyone at a certain age could vote, just being 30 or above. Because it is the anniversary coming up next year, we are going to have a female character, suffragist, erected in Parliament Square, Millicent Fawcett. You'll hopefully hear a bit more about Millicent Fawcett over the next year. Do get your cameras out though, ladies and gents. Beautiful views on the right hand side. Members of Parliament open up their windows and allow a bit of fresh air to blow through. Probably not the ideal building to work in, probably doesn't have the best air conditioning system on a really hot day, so people flinging open their windows to allow a little bit of fresh air to flow through those corridors of power. Corridors that you can visit. It doesn't cost you anything to go into Parliament, as long as they're not working. I'm sorry, I'll rephrase that. When they are working, it's free to go into. If they're not working, if they've got a holiday or the weekend, then you'll have to pay for the privilege of going on a tour within Parliament. But throughout the rest of the week, you can actually allow to wander through there, head held high, ask to speak to your member of Parliament. If they're not too busy, they'll hopefully come and have a bit of a chat with you about what your issues are. I mean, don't just go in there and say you've got bad back or your arthritis or something. Fed up and you want some ideas, not Trish or some sort of agony aunt in the newspapers, but some sort of serious issues with maybe your council, and that you think the Member of Parliament can help you with those different issues. So we also have a couple more statues in this area. King Richard I, Richard the Lionheart, holding a sword in the air. A sword that wasn't just used for ceremony, it was actually a sword he would have used in battle, going down to the Holy Lands and having crusades. It was during his time away from this country that the legend of Robin Hood developed. Robin the rich and giving to the poor. And the story of Ivanhoe also developed with the time, or set in the time period of Richard I.
Sorry?
Going back in time about 500 years, and you have this corner, this segment of the building on the left, part of Westminster Abbey. And this segment, the Henry VII Chapel, with the stained glass windows, which you'll see have beautiful colours on when you're inside and the sun is beaming through. Part of it was damaged during the Blitz in the Second World War. You might be able to see some newer stone, so some of the paler stone might have been restored, might be completely sort of removed and restored because of the Blitz damage, just because it's so historical. But we've effectively copied this part of Westminster Abbey and then pasted it, like you do on a computer program, pasted it across to the right hand side to this building here on the right, which was built much, much later, around the 1840s to the 1860s, this version of Parliament. So it's been copied and pasted from one side of the street to the other. After a huge fire, not the Great Fire of London, 1666, but another big fire at Parliament around 1830 or 1843. Pretty much the whole thing burnt out, and then we rebuilt it with a massive clock tower, which you'll see just on this on the right. This is the bed, as people will say. It comes to the right hand side. About to strike, we should be here in about 3 minutes' time, hopefully, when it does strike. T-minus 1.5 minutes before that. Before you physically hear Big Ben, I'm gonna explain a bit to you, something that even I was a bit shocked of when I first started with the tour guide. This clock tower, most people call Big Ben, it's probably in your guidebooks as Big Ben, but it's not. The bell is the bell inside the clock tower. It rings on the hour, every hour. That is known as Big Ben. It has originally had the name Benjamin Hall on the outside. The clock tower has just been known as the clock tower, and it's sort of a common misconception that it's called Big Ben. Call it what you want. If you want to call it Big Ben, that's fine. Call it Big Harry, call it Big Fred, call it Big Stephen. Don't call it Big Richard. Well, if you shorten the name Richard and get something else, it's a bit hard to talk about with the kids on the bus. Richard Turpin, you might have heard of him. So we have a big clock over to the right hand side. You also have a big wheel of the London Eye, the Millennium Wheel we also call it. Some people say it's a Ferris wheel, and just like the Ferris wheel's turning, I want you to turn to the left hand side to see the very small queue to get to Westminster Abbey today. It's a short queue, normally goes all the way down the street around the block. You can say a few prayers while waiting in line. You can also see Westminster outside of the building on the left-hand side. We have a statue over there. We have a great statesman who come right here, 16th President. Listen out, the bells are ringing. Now, we'll keep on listening. Fantastic time by our driver Basil. So skillful, that guy. It will strike me 11 times, 11 o'clock. Myself. We are going to have a stop in a moment. Striking piece of architecture over to your left hand side, the London Eye with all the capsules. About 28 people could fit into each of the capsules. It rotates around 35 minutes for a full loop. This is going to be our stop for it though. I can sense we have a few people maybe possibly hopping off at the stop. The London Eye, the London Aquarium, the London Dungeons. You want to do the Dungeons? London Dungeons? Yeah, a lady in the back of us in the Dungeons, yes, well done. You've obviously your whole family. Coming down, yes. You know who you are. Your family rising up. No? Maybe next time. No one hopping off for this one, Basil, our driver, it seems. No one going to go on that way. And now we have glimpse of a hospital here on the right hand side. This is Thomas's Hospital, named after Thomas Becket, our previous Archbishop of Canterbury. Some would say Saint or Sir Thomas Becket. He was canonised, he was made a saint after 4 of Henry II's knights rode down the Canterbury Cathedral, not to visit him and say, you know, how you doing, and fancy a beer, but to sadly execute him to pieces within Canterbury Cathedral itself. And many years after that, people visited the shrine of Thomas Becket down in Canterbury Cathedral, and they went on a journey with maybe their other friends and members of the family, remembered in the tales of Chaucer, the Canterbury Tales. It took about a day's horse ride to get down there. That was known as a horse's canter on the way down to Canterbury Cathedral. Florence Nightingale also lives at her third school of nursing within this hospital here on the right hand side of us. With some pretty strict rules, I have to admit, and they still follow those rules for the rest of this, or for this very day. The first rule, the big checklist you have to fill out when they're about to perform surgery, is the doctor sober? Right, yes, ticked off, the doctor is sober. Has the doctor washed his hands or her hands? Because originally they came to work a little bit tipsy, just wipe their hands on the jackets on a big apron, and the more blood you had in the apron, it showed you were a much more successful or busy surgeon. They were actually more active, so they didn't really wash their aprons that much. So if you ever go to hospital, consider yourself lucky. You live in this modern day and age instead of back in 1665 or 6. The last place you want to get better, or the last place you want to go to if you're ill, was the hospital. You might think that some of our doctors are drunk if you do go in for an operation. I went in there a few years ago, not to this hospital, but another hospital, and I was going to have an operation on my hand, my right hand. And before I had the operation, the doctor got a big felt tip pen out and said, I just want to make sure that I'm just going to write a big X where we have to put an X on your arm, just so I don't get them mixed up. That's what they do. They still do that in this very day. They just follow this really long checklist of making sure everything goes right at the right time. So when they are performing surgery, they don't get mixed up in performing surgery. We have a vehicle ahead of us here. It's the wonderful Duck Bus Tours. We'll see chugging along in a moment. I don't know what it is about these guys, but they always, when they go past, sometimes they have a quick glance up at it. I feel they always look up to us. For some reason they look up to us. Maybe the people on the ground also look up to us as well. They used them in the Second World War as amphibian landcraft. Not brightly coloured yellow, of course, but with camouflage. So it's sort of an invention maybe by the boffins that worked in our military intelligence. Pretty good view of the James Bond films. Going land into water, back to land again. One of those boffins, one of those bright sparks, would have been Winston Churchill. He helped to fund Bletchley Park, which helped to eventually break down the Indian codes. Wonderful place to visit Bletchley Park if you're interested in Batman codes. And he also helped to create tanks in the First World War. He was sort of the top boss of our Admiralty, our naval vessels. And so he basically wanted a vessel that could travel across the land, like ships would do across the sea. They called them land ships. land ships, but they didn't want the enemy to find out they were mass producing these land ships, so we give them a code word, and they pretended that they were going to create lots, not of land ships, but lots of septic tanks. So pretended they were creating lots of septic tanks, and the name tank was stuck because they were originally called septic tanks. We are going to have to stop in a moment, guys and girls. It will be your chance to have off for the London Eye and for Waterloo, and for the general lady in hospital here on the right hand side, which is now sadly closed down, turned into the Premier Inn Hotel. But as we go into labour, about to give birth, and your family here, and hopefully after giving birth, you rest and relax for about a week or so. We used to do it in the old days, in this hospital at least. You're in and out on the same day. I'll look to the left hand side. London Eye Big Ben together on the left hand side of us just for a moment. Yeah. You know where it is now. Quick snapshot. And you can always come back later if you didn't manage to get a good photo. We're crossing what's known as a south bank, so if you're on the left hand side of the bus, you look down to the left, see the little beach area is still there. It's a lovely promenade location. This is a place. Sand along the beach. Somerset House. It's a place that used to be the first purpose-built office or major office block in Great Britain for the government. Built back in 1776, same year as independence in the States. And you could also find out who your ancestors were. So you can find out related to the Duke of Wellington, to Queen Victoria. Maybe to a king of some sorts, to the Lion King, which they always say. You've got to be careful of how far back you're looking on his family history, you might find out related to some, maybe Richard or Dick Turpin, possibly, some sort of highwayman. Have it here in London. The Lion King, ahead of us here on the left hand side, great show, especially with the youngsters, the adult also human for children here with that show. By the Wailers, first back in 1975, when their world tour bringing reggae to the masses. And we are going to stop coming up here. This is going to be your chance to hop off the Covent Garden and the Aldwych. If anybody wants to hop off for this area, make some noise now. Raise a hand or head on down those steps. I think there are a few lovely people hopping off for this location, Covent Garden and the Aldwych. So that's all on the steps at the moment coming down. This is the home of the Indian Embassy, or High Commission, you could say, here on the right hand side. There's a wonderful building, beautiful images, parts of India on the outside, wax on the top, see the name, yes. The buildings in this sort of semicircle here, built around the early 1900s. We also have the Australian Embassy around the corner with the Australian flags on the outside, along with the Indian flags behind us. You basically have embassies or high commissions in countries that have links with Great Britain. We call them high commissions. So you have the Canadian High Commission, Indian High Commission, South African and New Zealand and Australian, and then we have embassies for all the other countries around the rest of the globe. We'll go past the American embassy a little bit later on today. As you come back down Park Lane, it's based in the area known as Mayfair, very exclusive part of town, Mayfair, very expensive as well. Behind us on the right hand side, for those folks from Australia, that's what embassy, the Australian High Commission, or embassy just behind us, which doubles up as Gringotts Bank in Harry Potter Field, please. Gringotts Bank, there, and of course in a stone. Quick glimpse on the right hand side, you'll see stone damage on the walls here, or damage on the stone on the walls. That's from the Blitz, that's the shrapnel marks from the Blitz in the Second World War, and that's the only building we'll go past today. On these buses, you'll still see damage from the Blitz in the Second World War. Everything else has either been restored, that we'll see on the tours, or rebuilt, or removed possibly. The church was totally gutted. Only the walls remained standing, and the only, we had all the windows melting with the ferocious fire, the heat of the fire, the roof caving in, all the seats inside burnt. It's been kindly restored with the help of the Royal Air Force. If you get a chance, do pop into these little gems, these little churches. You'll find out so much warm out local London life, and it's a nice cool, calm environment, and 10 or 15 minutes peace and quiet to yourself. And you can also pick up some tea here on the right hand side, a peaceful location to get your classic tea. This is Twinings. Now, people have been going in through that doorway for the last 300 years. The same shop, buying the same product, from the same family for 300 years, since 1706. For a nice cup of tea. So if you want some packaged tea for your loved ones back home, a little present for them, a nice sort of display package or case, then you can go back to that store. It should be open pretty much throughout the rest of the week, even on a Sunday, for Twinings Tea Store. Well, the statue, the dragon on the plinth, that shows we're about to enter the City of London. So it's sort of like a gateway marker. On this side, you have the City of Westminster. So this is a new modern city with the bars, cafes and restaurants and theatres. On the far side, you have the much more historic district of London, parts of which will date back to the days of the Romans. This monument, we used to have an archway here, which had the heads of traitors impaled on spikes. That's just a basic symbol, so if you're going to enter the City of London, you must build with best behaviour, otherwise, off with your heads. Dipped in tar, really thick gooey tar, they last up there for about 4 or 5 years. Looking on the right hand side, pretty historical, goes back about 400 years, 1610 with Prince Andrew. I'm not too sure what the flag up there is called, the yellow and the red one. On the right hand side. Tried to Google it in the past and still can't find out. And in fact, that's a good sort of gives or example of the architectural style. And they used to have buildings going up and then out over the roads, and then up again and out over the roads. You maximise your living space. You rent a very small ground floor and then build it up and out. Rising up ahead of us here, we have the Dome of Gherkin. Next door back to the slice of the Cheesewood, new modern buildings. And then just a dome with some water people everywhere. The road coming up here at the moment. Now, St Paul's is an amazing building, fantastically historical, about 300 years, but if you want real history, my suggestion is to visit one or two pubs. There's one here on the right, lovely little Irish pub, Tipperary, first Irish pub, first pub with certain kind of Guinness here in London. And on the left, the Oldie Cheshire Cheese, which dates back to 1667, was built 1 year after the Great Fire of London. This sort of pub here. It's so historical that when you're going through the main doorway, you can't, you walk on the main, it's got a stone step, it's literally been worn away in half with a foot leather that's been trampled on the stone step. So the leather carve out stone, and then had a place of cast iron grating on top of the stone, so it won't be cracked in half, it won't physically crack. This is still featuring, yeah. Full of journalists at one point. Little images here on the left hand side of Mary Queen of Scots, and a little piccadilly around her neck, a little lacy black collar. They were sold in an area which basically picked its name from the Piccadilles, a place called now Piccadilly or Piccadilly Circus, is where we originally sold Piccadilles. So a high activity. Printing presses ringing for 300 years here, the journalists here for, 500 years, the journalists here for about 300 of those 500 years. And news agencies like Reuters ahead of us here on the right, I think. Stone-clad building with a major archway door, dating back to the 1930s, and on the other side of the road, another building, also dating back to the 1930s, for the headquarters of the Daily Express. So you see actually the lettering just by the main doorway, or the Daily Express. That burnt down much of London. Well, this maker was trying to find some inspiration for his daughter's wedding cake. Couldn't find it anywhere until he went to the pubs, ended up in the gutter, woke up in the morning and saw a church spire, which you'll see if you look where I'm pointing, just back there. You'll see the church spire rising up. That's the inspiration, they say, for the first ever tiered wedding cake. Church of St. Bride's. The only tears you should really have at a wedding. Now, for those folks going into St. Paul's Cathedral, you've got to get your climbing legs in gear. You'll climb up 528 steps, and before you hop off, you can look out the windows at the front or at the back of the bus looking forwards. You'll see, hopefully, people at the top of the dome. I can't see them at the moment, the bus covering the way. Sweet shops on the right hand side, classic ones from the 60s, 70s and 80s if you're hopping up here with youngsters and need some energy to get up those steps. And this is going to be our closest stop to St. Paul's. So get yourselves ready if you want to hop off for this stop. See, we have some saints hopping off for this location. Think ahead, folks. Saints going marching in, hopping off for St. Paul's Cathedral. Oh, taking all your bits and pieces and those famous kids' packs as well. Make sure you get hold of those kids' packs. Anybody else hopping off? Still coming down on the steps at the moment, coming down for this stop. So we're going to continue our journey. St. Paul's Cathedral, you might remember from back in 1981 when Lady Diana Spencer walked up those steps with that long white red dress flowing down behind her, walking as a lady. It's an image that I remember as a young soldier now. So 3 major tombs are here. Oh, actually, before we talk about the tombs, there's a bridge on the right-hand side. It's called the Millennium Bridge. It will take you across to the Tate Modern Art Gallery. And it was also used in the Harry Potter films, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. It gets totally destroyed, the first one of the film, it's just on the right. But it also had a very strange wobble. Thousands of people walking across that bridge today. And when it first opened, thousands of people walked across, thousands of people started to wobble all at the same time. Basically, it had a bit of a shake. There was two architects for it, and I think they each relied on the other person to think about the people walking across. Synchronous lateral excitation. So it doesn't just happen to this bridge, there is a technical term for it. It has happened to other bridges around the globe. And so when you have an army, or maybe a battalion, marching across a bridge, they normally have to break step, otherwise the bridge can start to sway and twist. Closed down after 2 days, and they were the best engineers there to fix it straight away. And they took 2 years to fix the wobble of the bridge. I think that also involves a few holidays to check out other bridges like in Hawaii or maybe in the south of France, as well as Hawaii possibly. It's been up there for the last 17 years, so I want to fix. Hopefully it's fixed for a long time. For those folks at the back of the bus, have a look over your left shoulder, you get a fantastic view of St Paul's Cathedral. You might even be able to see the people right at the very top of the dome. 528 steps they've climbed up to the Golden Gallery to get the spectacular views from the very top. And that's what you would have done as a volunteer during the Second World War. You'd actually head up there with a couple of buckets of water, maybe a little towel soaked in water. You would be out there waiting for the aircraft, the Luftwaffe to fly across, waiting for them to drop their payloads, their incendiary devices, and then you would be there to kind of pull out those incendiary devices that landed around the people. They're very brave individuals. Those heroes with grimy faces, what they call them. Would have saved basically supports people for your enjoyment and for the people of the world really to enjoy, hopefully, just behind us. Whispering Gallery, folks. So if you do go up there, there's a certain area where you whisper into the side of the dome, into what's known as the Whispering Gallery. Now, French, you've got to hear what you have to say on the far side of the dome, about 100 feet directly behind you, as you whisper. When you do that, though, just be careful of what you whisper. Don't get too saucy with your loved ones, because lots of other people will be listening to what you have to say, so don't get too cheeky with them. Darling, honey, darling, have a good night tonight. Open a bottle of champagne and do a nice massage and then watch TV. Probably after that, maybe. Most people just whisper, "Can you hear me?" And your friends will say, "Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?" And saying goodbye to St Paul's Cathedral, an amazing piece of architecture. Consider it was built without any computers, without any major steel cranes, just with the knowledge of one great mind, Sir Christopher Wren, and he wanted to remap the whole of London. He wanted to create wide Italian boulevards, get rid of these tiny little alleyways or streets like Bread Street on either side of the bus. The local business people said no, just rebuild London as it was. Don't want to lose any of our property. So we still have these sort of small, tiny narrow lanes that we'll see dotted with the major thoroughfares of London. One little lane coming up on the left, that's Bow Lane. If you're all within this area, next door to Church Bells and St Mary le Bow, you can officially call yourself a true Londoner. You're a cockney character or a true Londoner. You might be able to smell that really nice, almost tasty, spongy smell. Talk about the noise in the buzzsaws there. That is a smell of money, folks. Wafting through this financial district, it's almost tactile. You can almost feel it. So overpowering. Might be garlic as well, a bit garlic. But yeah, this is our financial district, so money will be flowing, credit and cash will be flowing within this area. If only the traffic flowed as much as the money in these streets of London. So you have Wall Street in New York. We have many streets all flowing from this one central hub around the corner. The area that's simply known to us Londoners as Bank. Now there is a stop around the corner, by the way. It's a stop for the Bank of England. So if anybody wants to hop off for this next stop, just let me know now. We'll pull up for you and drop your fare safely and soundly for this next stop. So there will be a family coming down in a moment at the next stop for the area known as Bank. Before you go, once again, make sure you do check your seats before you leave the bus. Bring all your bags and belongings with you. And you can always come back to the same stop to carry on your tour after that. Hopping off here, wandering down some of those little side alleyways and pathways to find new gems, new experiences. So Basil, family coming down at the moment, almost there, pulling up to this next stop. There will be a bit of a jolt here, so watch out for that jolt. And there we are, coming down to this location, hopping off for the stop right here, right now. When they were building it though, they found a Roman temple on the site, just underneath the ground. They just had to dig down their foundations and discovered one of that, a Roman temple. So there really are Roman artifacts underneath the soil. And over to your left, there is even gold underneath the soil of the Bank of England. This is our major bank, it takes up the entire block here. It's known as the old Lady of Threadneedle Street, so sometimes the government would come down here to ravish that lady and sell off some of her gold and silver. That's where Mark Carney, a Canadian gentleman, is now working. He's been poached from the Bank of Canada, now does a great job here. Roughly, gets paid about £1 million a year for his work. Pocket change, very millions about left, right and centre nowadays in the financial industry. But actually, when you think about it, it's quite a lot of money. If you think how many years you would have to work to make £1 million, then you realise how large £1 million really is. A little bit, how many years? 3 or 4 possibly? 4 or 5 maybe? Give it a push. And we have a column that could be probably worth more than £1 million. That's the monument to the Great Fire of London. Gold, not solid gold at the top, but gold leaf up there. Remember, it's a town fire of 1666 that started in this area. In a little lane called Pudding Lane, run by a man called Thomas Fariner, who took after his overnight nights. Sadly, the whole building burnt down to the ground on the 2nd of September, followed by 80% of the city of London. Terrible inferno. We didn't blame, or maybe some people blame the baker, but he basically blamed the French. And in those days, we sadly believed that we round up some the usual suspects. Someone in a French accent said no, and should have said yes, and probably executed for starting the Great Fire of London. That actually happened. A man called Robert Hubert, who wasn't even in London when it started, said yes when he should have said no and was properly executed. That's a terrible tale of injustice, but there is a moral to the story. You get into trouble, done something terrible, just lie about it and blame someone else. Not what it was. Maybe never not the French, because we're very friendly with France over the years. It's the biggest French-speaking city outside of France itself. Population. Okay, a really big bridge here on the right hand side. This is London Bridge. There's a shard of glass on the far side. You also have Barrow Market, which is up in that, sort of in action once again, up and running. And Barrow Market on the right hand side, great fresh produce for your food, and then a little glimpse, a sliver of the monument up to the right hand side to the Great Fire of London. And we're going to have a stop in a moment for this general location. So we do want to hop off either for the Shard, for London Bridge, for Barrow Market, for the monument, or for the big hunky building up to your left hand side. The walkie-talkie, then you can hop off at the next stop. But just raise your hands, make some noise if you want to hop off, or downstairs, press buttons around the bus in advance before we get up to this next stop. Royal Good Basil. So just over the right shoulder, sorry about that, I failed to point out, pulling lanes behind us on the right. That's where the fire originally started, in that little bakery. 80% of London sadly destroyed from the mishaps, the mismanagement maybe, from Pudding Lane. We say Pudding Lane, and that they did have bakeries there, but apparently they also used to sell something else. You might have heard the loved pudding when you have your fried breakfast in the morning, sort of your blood from your animals. Well, that's what they sold. They sold the entrails of animals, apparently. So your sheep's intestines, maybe the sweet meats or the brains, possibly that you're having. 5-star restaurants nowadays, Michelin-star restaurants, that's what they used to sell down here on the right hand side, your bone marrow. Ready before you in Pudding Lane. If you want to enjoy some bone marrow, marrowbone jelly, you should probably do some of this. The dogs are normally have marrowbone jelly. Bone marrow up in the building over to your left hand side. They have some pretty cool restaurants inside the walkie-talkie, the top-heavy structure in front to the left. And that building had a bit of a terrifying moment a few years ago when it melted someone's car. You can feel the heat of the sun on you at the moment, on your arms and your back of the necks. Well, the heat of the sun was hitting the windows here, being intensified by the concave structure of that building, like a satellite dish, or a set of mirrors all pointing in the right direction. They pointed down here to the right, so basically melt someone's Jaguar. It's a very expensive Jaguar. Didn't melt the whole thing, they recovered part of it. Maybe for spare parts. But it's sort of known as a sky scorcher, or the walkie-talkie. It's officially just office space. So you have office space inside there. The title for it is 20 Fenchurch Street, but it's been nicknamed as the walkie-talkie. The great thing about it is you can go to the top for free. If it whiz you up to the very top, you have to show your ID, and you also sadly have to book in advance. But if you booked in advance about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, you get to the Shard, or you get into the walkie-talkie here for free, and the views up there, I haven't done it yet, I know it's been up here for a few years, I will eventually do it, but the views fantastic across the whole of London from this structure. Just don't look at it the wrong way, otherwise you might get blinded with the sunlight in your eyes. Another glimpse of the Shard of Glass down the path on the right hand side, just a decent glimpse of it. That's the tallest building in Western Europe. Pretty impressive views, and they have an observation platform you can get up to into today, as long as you pay for it, about £30 for your tour right to the very top. You have to get 2 lifts that's so big. You just have 1 lift. The lift chain apparently would be so long that it would actually add weight to itself and probably fracture, so we've got 2 coming. So you've got 2 lifts, much more safer to keep you up and down. Tower of London coming up at the end of the road. That's one of our major tourist districts, great for local Londoners, but also for visitors from different parts of the globe. And the great thing about it is that people inside who live there, it is still a working tower, people do live inside, and the people who live there are the guards, the crown jewels. They're the Yeoman Warders. They have retired from the army after 20 years, I shouldn't maybe say that, they've been in the army for at least 22 years, Army or Air Force, and after that hard work, they've sort of been shown they're reliable individuals, they have a medal of good conduct, and then they get to guard the crown jewels and live inside the tower. Very knowledgeable individuals. They've seen a lot of action over the years, and
and they have huge booming voices. I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's just 20 years of shouting on the military parades. But they will take on a walking tour inside the Tower of London. It could be maybe 100 people in front of them, but they'll still command your attention perfectly when you go on those walking tours inside the tower. Undrawn and quartered were one of the most gruesome forms of torture and execution ever created or ever devised by a human being, involving William Wallace originally back in 1305. And eventually heads would fly, chopped off, and then placed on top of London Bridge for all to see. Now, if you were maybe just executed because of stealing a loaf of bread, your body might have, or maybe being a highway robber, your body might have been laid not to rest, but to be collected here on the right hand side in this church, All Hallows by the Tower. And it's where William Penn was baptised. 1644, William Penn. And painting, pretty picture, without a pen, but maybe with a paintbrush. Tower Bridge over to the right hand side. City Hall on the far side of the Thames, that's where Sadiq Khan, powerful individual indeed, now works. And you can see one or two people having a bit of a rest around by the tower at the moment. This is indeed the Tower of London on the right hand side of us. Built on the orders of William the Conqueror back in 1078 to intimidate and oppress the local population. And also defend London from anyone sailing along the Thames and trying to destroy this city. So don't panic, we haven't lost our stop at the Tower of London. We just got to do a little loop-a-loop around this area and then drop you off in a few minutes by the tower itself. So almost there. Get yourselves ready. This will be it, folks, for the boat cruise straight ahead on the left. You cannot miss it, I guarantee it. You'll get there in time.